Welcome back to Shadows Over Loathing. We're slowly but surely kind of clearing out the things that had stacked up here. I know the second that I say that and I go out venturing forth into the wilderness, into the world here, that I'm just gonna wander my way through something that opens up a whole other path that I've yet to explore and, just carry on from there infinitely, it seems. But no, apparently not. Check the meat return slot and continue on my way. So I do get to go to the fairy lair unperturbed. Maybe Molly will be stoked because it's apparently a way to get ammo. My let's ankle. Chopper's got a stretch. No, none of that. None of that apparently. This mess of twigs and sap is a fairy nest. Reach inside, you fumble blindly in the nest and find a knife. You pull the knife out of your hand, flesh, and stick it in your pocket. I just just clumsily impaled my hand reaching in. Knife is too small. I think I've found one of those before. A shadow pocket or pouch or something. It makes me close some of them. It makes me want to reach into the ones that it doesn't make me close. You stick your hand in and grab the first thing your fingers brush against and yank it out. The Shadow Elixir. A little vial of nothingness. Increase muscle and by 1 and maximum HP by 11. That's kind of absurdly strong. I just have an HP boost right now. I might just straight up drink that, I think. Yeah, I think I will, yes. I had basically just done a cursed item quest. It's going to be a while for another one to come back up and for sleep to happen, so I'll just take this now, and why not? It fills in the gaps in your muscles and veins. It fills them with nothing, but they're still filled. A pleasant numbness spreads within you, soothing darkness. Shadow swelling. You are turgid with shadow. Really maxed out. The fairies put up their tiny dukes as you approach. Fight them. Well, you shouldn't have been standing point blank there. You really opened yourself up to some shit there. Let's just go with some killing, perhaps. Perhaps I just kill as many of these as I can. I think I'll end up doing more damage spreading it around like that. It just blew itself up. I honestly wasn't expecting that. You showed those fairies who's bigger and tougher than a fairy. Yeah, don't you dare argue with me on that. The nest contains nothing but garbage and a mousetrap, which snaps on your hand. You gained defect hand injury. No! You injured your hand, and it's making things slightly harder to handle. That sucks. I don't know. I just came from the boardwalk, and there was, the first aid lady there. I know this is derailing what I'm doing a lot, but I am curious now all of a sudden if this is intended to be a use of this. I guess I gotta fight my way through some more spiders first. That's fine, I'll be through it in none time at all. But they just sold items there. I don't think it was something as useful as get rid of any negative effects. But if I read them just a little bit more closely, that sucks that it took away the stat that I literally just gave myself with the potion I chugged. Removes bleeding, increases HP, increases hot armor. Yeah, it's nothing quite as useful. I think I would literally have to sleep that off. That's bunk. Total bunk. At least I still get the what do I try to say, health bonus. I'm still adding 6 more health than I would have, even if the muscle benefit was instantaneously neutralized. This time around, we'll find a new location. Just down the trail, you see 2 things at roughly the same time. The first is a whole flock of these horrible murder fairies dancing around merrily and laughing in shrill little voices. The second is the bloody carcass of a medium-sized bear. Yes, I think we have read that specific encounter before. They just hurt everyone. Why did you do that? The wackadoo! The wackadoo just hurt everyone! That was a little bit insane, man. It was a little bit wacky. I guess is probably the #1 way I could think to describe the stupid move I just witnessed. I hate this nest. You've already searched it and it didn't go well. More belligerent fairies. Not more belligerent than usual, there just are more of them. I think my hit everyone thing will be relatively useful here. Take out at least some of them. Now it's clean sweep. Take care of the whole pack. It's me, I'm Forrest. I should have read that. I'm so used to when you fight the same clusters of enemies over and over for things to get a little repetitive. I should have read it. Wow, this thing is horrible. Must be meant to scare humans away. Take it back to your room. Well, I don't want to get teleported to my room right this second. See what's inside. This must be the home of one of... Start over with that. This must be the home of one of the wealthier fairy families. That might just be a typo. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. It might just be a typo. I do want to take that back to my room, absolutely. I am going to keep reaching into all of these, by the way, as well. I can't resist it. What am I going to do? Not risk killing my character for the sake of a little bit of meat left in a fairy nest? Of course not. There are a lot of fairies guarding the nest. Must be something good inside. Or a negative friggin' stat, probably. I'll fight him real good. Hey, well done. Well done, Dark Rick. I feel like there's not a lot of times where you deliver the killing blow there. Real proud of ya. Great to see you coming into your own. What a hell of a team. Nice try. Squirrel cheese, fairy dust. Access to the undoubtedly wonderful nest is now yours. I'm vibrating with nest-related excitement. What hell will this be? What horrors must await within? Exactly. Reach inside and find out. Curious. The inside is totally overgrown with sweat moss. Is it sweat? Sweat. It's uncomfortably warm and uncomfortably moist. Scrape it out. You collect all the useful ingredients from the sweat moss. Now go wash your hands. The phlogistic resin. Of all the debunked theories of how fire works, this one is the one we've all agreed to pretend is true. And fustulent grulch. This is definitely the most fustulent of grulches you're carrying around. She shoots you a wink. I don't think she actually has anything new to say here. There are a lot of fairies guarding the nest. There must be something good inside. Similar way of having that play out. I'm a pretty big fan of these wackadoos just totally mangling their own team. That makes things a lot easier on myself. Great showing all around. See, I think it does just attack 4 people if there's less than 5. I think, it attacks the amount there are there up to 5. Fairy cake, wooden handle, I believe we've had both of those before. You pick through the pile of loose wings and limbs to find if the fairies had anything worth taking. Really make it sound like a bloodbath. Hey, a ring! One of the fairies was probably using it as a crown. The ring of Raucous Fracas. It's still a matter of debate whether God plays dice with the universe, but it's unambiguous that this ring does. Fights will be extremely chaotic. Just the order of things will be totally messed around with. I kinda do want to, test that out. I guess I should also be putting back on more of the other things that I swapped out. That might have been it. That might have been everything that I've taken care of it. I'm back to the build that I wanted to have. Again, clearing out one of these, side sections was a little more straightforward than I expected. I will take him away. Wait, seriously? You want to take this obviously evil, obviously extremely ugly statue back to your room to where you sleep? Yes. You drag the horrible sculpture to the bus stop. A bus arrives, but refuses to pick you up. Because of the horrible sculpture, I mean. You spend the next several hours dragging it back to your room. Huff and a puff. But now we got this buddy who looks like he's ready to dish out a really painful high five. Just looking at this thing makes you mad. Pretend to fight it. You duck and weave and bob and swat. Are you shadow boxing or the shadow is boxing you? Fairy fisticuffs. You're all charged up with violent fairy magic. Do you count as a melee weapon or just magical? Magical, melee. Oh, so it does come down to that. I accidentally just clicked off of it. Which one of these? The sharpened nasty spoon. That's what I was using. So I don't even think that'll end up helping me. It's like neat to have, I guess. I hadn't done that. Extra ranged, just binging and bonging things. I doubt the TV suddenly has anything. Nope, that's staying as it is. Tchotchkes. It's weird that I haven't actually like added more to that in all this time. Someone has given you a nightstand. There's a briefcase and a note on top. Take one and read the other. The note reads, Grammy, the quality of your work at the distillery has been noted as excellent. We will contact you in a telephonular manner with further opportunities. DT, which is I'm forgetting his name, but we've had several run-ins with the guy. He's the one who was excited that we cleared out the distillery. A briefcase full of meat. Like a cow, this briefcase is flesh surrounded by leather. Unlike a cow, it has brass latches and a handle. Honest work for dishonest pay. Well, open it up. What do we got? That's a lot of gabagool. Okay, well that was a sweet little payday then. Anyone wanna talk or hang out while we're here? Oh, there's messages left for us. I guess this was the telephonular contact. There's a note for you. Call Don T with a phone number. Call the mob back. Don Toblerone, that's what it was. Verbalizing. Hey Don, it's me. Splendiferous. Kudos on your triumphal completion of my previous assignment. You're welcome. Is that all? In fact, I have another item of business to attenuate. To be attenuated, which I believe to be suited marvelously to one of your skills. Which one? I have so many. No, I mean, well, regardlessly, we require that you proceed apace to Crystal Dream Lake, wherein is located a purveyor of tools and implements of construction. Say again? He might vernacularize it as a hardware store? Implements of construction is very opposite of implements of destruction, which I feel like is a much more common phrase. Right, you guys run out of cement or something? We have a necessitude that you will perform upon this place of business that we categorize a shakedown. They owe you meat. No, we are merely desirous that the local commercialis retail emporia feel a measure of intimidation. Yeah, I guess I can handle that. I can rustle a few feathers, shake a few tables, slap a few donkeys. I don't really know. The intimidation thing's going to be a little bit new to me. I don't know exactly what the best angle to take would be. I got pulled away there, and now I don't know what I was in the middle of doing or how my recording timing is all messed up. I have no idea. I have no idea how long I've been recording this episode. No, I have these other things to do. I think I'm going to go follow up on the hardware store and kind of lean on them a little bit and, do a little bit of intimidation. Why not? Just play up on that immediately. In a thickly overgrown and essentially sunless part of the woods, essentially sunless, you happen upon two large and burly vampires. They seem pretty ticked off. They're growling menacingly, shoving each other around and so forth. Some kind of spooky territory dispute, or maybe one of them drank a tourist that the other one was saving for a special occasion. The nature of their argument is unclear. What is clear is that these guys are very strong. And you'd better be pretty sure of yourself if you plan to do something before they notice you. Just break it up. All right, you knuckleheads, break it up. You step between the two vampires and shove them away from each other. But, hey! Don't give me none of your lip. We run a nice establishment here. You two want to fight, you can do it someplace else. Go on, get out of here. What establishment are we talking about? Aren't we just in the middle of the woods right now? The two vampires shuffle away muttering. One of them angrily throws his hat on the ground. And we got the vampire skull cap. Still love that gag, the idea of wearing a hat that gives you a widow's peak. Well, sir, mister, although I probably still need your, time machine, so I don't know. We can, hopefully that doesn't cut that off. I'll propose a shaking. I've been asked to shake up some of your merchandise. Come again? There's some mob guys who want to intimidate you for some reason, so they sent me here to shake things up or down, something like that. Huh. Well, those cans of paint over there could use a good shaking. I ain't got around to it for a while. Okay, sounds good. Can't say I feel particularly intimidated, though. Okay, but you could just pay me for a good hard day's work then, and the same end result, right? Ask about something else? Ask for candy? That's it then. Are we considering that a done deal? Yep, I think so. So I will go home and let them know? Let the Don Toblerone know that I did it? Not an option, it seems. Maybe he'll get in contact with me, but apparently we're calling that good. I think that's a little weak, but that's what we're going with. Sure, why the hell not? Growling, shrieking, laughing, and despite it being a bad idea, is this the bears? No. It does, in fact, turn out to be more of those horrible fairies. These ones are tormenting a badger, which is backed up into a shallow burrow and frantically swatting at them as they poke at it with little knives. Just as you're starting to back away, grateful that they haven't noticed you, you step in a dry twig. It cracks noisily, and the fairies all turn around. Dang it, twig! Distract them with expired seltzer, which I apparently don't have. I don't really know what I would have done with it or like why that would have been a useful tool in this scenario. Hey, look at that. Good job, Rick, taking care of things for me. Well, I've just so fully lost track of things. The badger seems grateful, or at least as grateful as a badger can feel, which isn't very much, honest. The fairies' loot makes up the difference. The mine I would need to go to fill crystals into the crystal shore. We'll see. Maybe that will be fine. The figures approach you. They're the weird ones that just have mushroom heads on top there. Sure. Why not? The distillery and the fairy thing both happened to be relatively short little ventures. And so I don't really know, every time you go into something like this, how much of a new quest you're opening, but whatever. I guess I'll try my best to wrap this one up, and then we'll see how long the episode is. Gumbuckle Mine Foreman's office. The door is comprehensively boarded shut, and this elevator is rusted into a state of total functionlessness. And Molly, just in case you have anything you want to say about any of this? Nah. Alright, we'll just pry that open. Crowbar makes short work of the long boards. It's like relatively funny. New paths. You know what? I will close this one. You place the jaws of the pliers around the little hole and wrench them closed. Or ply them closed, I guess. Right, so it's just a trade-off of experience versus an item, I think is all it's going to come down to. I don't think it's going to make the fabric of reality tear asunder. This coat rack is bare. This cabinet is securely locked. This little radio's playing some big band music. There's nothing in this desk except a very old pink slip. The reason for termination is listed as shirking of elevator maintenance duties. And this filing cabinet is newer than the rest of the furniture, but it's still pretty wrecked. See what's inside? Just some shoes. That probably made sense to somebody at some point. The flip-file flip-flops. Office equipment or footwear? Can't it be both? Makes your steps more organized. What does that mean? It's not at all what I expected, and I also don't really know why that is considered organization, but sure, they're funny and I'm going with it. Step through the weird doors. 1906 calendar. We'll assume that it's up to date at the time. A desk with nothing on it, or in, or under, or behind it. A huge disappointment, really. Empty bird cage. They must have run out of canaries. Oh, that's a little twisted. The version of the cabinet is unlocked. Look inside. Unfortunately, this version of the cabinet is empty. Well, damn it. There's a jacket hanging on the coat rack, which I guess makes it technically a jacket rack. Search the jacket. Oh yeah, there's no filing cabinet there because it was newer than the rest of everything. The Gumbuckle Mine cabinet key. A little brass key with the Kretschmeyer Cabinets Co. engraved on it, and I assume I can't leave. Let me use the keyboard to be certain. No, I can, but there would probably just be nothing. It's an elevator that leads down to the main shaft. Okay, so I could do that, because I guess the the maintenance hasn't gone awry yet. I'm going to grab this in case there's something I need to bring back with me. Can of elevator grease, that seems to be it. The cabinet is empty except for one can of elevator grease. This can's labeled elevator grease, so don't go thinking you can use it to lubricate a ramp or a staircase or a funicular. I assumed I would need that. Yeah, okay, I do need it here. It's an elevator that leads down, needs a good greasing, so I grease it up, and then hopefully that holds all the way back to the present. A squirt here, a dollop there, and kapow! This thing will run like a charm for at least 22 years. Take it for a spin. And I'm guessing we can check it at both time periods to find some different things. Mine shaft in the past. No way you're wandering off into that temporal abyss. It's a little bit of a spatial abyss as well. This support beam is lousy with termites, so things are going to start collapsing in the future. This table is bare except for a note reading, I owe you one helmet. This cabinet is labeled Dynamite storage, and it is extremely locked. This is a very large, oddly spherical rock. It has a hole drilled into it. Shine your flashlight in the hole. Your flashlight reveals sparkly colored crystals inside. It's a geode. There's nothing past this point in the past. So, go back to the future. Maybe that will have collapsed, the locks will have rusted, and we can use the dynamite to blow open the geode to get the crystals to take to the crystal store. I think that's what's going on here, and the series of solutions here is quite linear. I probably said something about it being fixed and oiled and ready to go. I'm rushing. What am I doing here? Don't want to be wasting my time like that, or not the opposite of wasting my time? I don't know. The maximizing my time. The way it's completely blocked off with fallen debris. There's a big crack in the wall, a massive cave-in. Actually, I suppose it's technically a mine-in. Right, that does kind of make sense. I suppose you've convinced me of that. Alright, I think other order of operations then. This is a lot of flipping around between things. Now I'm assuming that I need the dynamite to get rid of the debris. I could just support the beams more, but that doesn't seem to be what I would need. Well then, if I can't immediately deal with that, I really thought that would be the case. If I get a helmet, is that needed? I can't, imagine how that would factor into the solution, but I think I need at that dynamite. Let me kind of just look around things again really quickly. We got the key. 1906, 22, so 1928, I guess, is the time that things are happening. There's nothing on the desk except an old Employee of the Month award certificate for greasing up things. Oh, because instead of neglecting the maintenance. You're the only one who's ever been in here this month, so you definitely deserve this. An offhand item, this award is made out to Hubert Gutchins, but for all anybody knows, that could be your name. Flash it to increase your maximum and current HP by your moxie, once per fight. That is pretty damn useful, I think. Reduce everything. I never do that. It's so much easier to just kill things. But that other one was pretty good. Oh, I swear there's music coming from more than one location. Maybe that's not the case. Been remarkably well maintained. Well, if I head to the crystal store, oh, you see your past self coming up the road towards you and remember the 300 meat you owe you. Maybe you ought to pay that back so the paradox doesn't destroy causality or anything. I guess I'll do it now. You stroll up to yourself and hand him 300 meat. As expected, he's a bit puzzled by this. Are we going to have the same conversation, but our roles are reversed? Here, take this meat. Technically, I guess I should be repaying it to the future me, but that's me now, so you'll have to do. Maybe not quite the same, I don't remember. But what's the point in giving me meat if I have to give it back later? You'll make it more easily, same old thing. I am interested. You roll your eyes. God, what a cornball joke. You're frankly embarrassed to have made it. Haha, yeah, anyway, don't forget to pay you back or the universe will explode or something, something, something. Crystal, help me out here. How's the mine of mine? Break off anything expensive? Still working on it. That's alright, the important thing is that you're alive, and it doesn't matter that I forgot to send a canary down there first. Well, maybe if I were to go to the hardware store, I don't think he'll sell like dynamite or anything, but I kind of do want to just like check, because there's a chance he might have something useful like that for me. The stench damage, nicely done. See, that's why I don't worry too much about my offhand items. I don't think he sold anything like that. I probably would have bought it if he did. Oh, okay, here we go. Here's a good option. Termite poison. I wish regulatory agency made me stop selling it a few years back. Right. There was like the ineffective pesticide thing, but if you go back in time before regulations, okay, we are on the right track here. Made me stop selling it a few years back because it was quote unquote killing everybody who used it. Huh, so more of an everything poison then. Yeah, wicked good for termites though. Alright, well just don't mind me. I'm heading back for another closet inspection and, you know, I'll be back somewhere between 5 minutes and like many years from now. I changed my mind about where to put them. What do you have for sale? Here is what we're looking for. No. There we go. Termite poison. Dangerous pesticides, among them mason jar filled with oily brown liquid. Ask about this. 22 meat, nothing. Great. Buy the pesticide and place it very carefully in your sack. Thermoblast termite spray. A spray canister filled with chemicals that history demonstrated to be just as dangerous to humans as it is to termites. Mind you don't get any of that on your skin. You don't breathe the fumes, and don't pour it down any drains or rivers or otherwise let it into the groundwater. And if the jar starts to melt, get it into a fresh jar straight away. Well, thank you kindly for the heaping helping of instructions. You would be well suited to commercials for medicines where you need to list off all the potential side effects. I'm just going to break free and escape from those spiders. Cash out some quick experience. Oh boy. This has taken quite a few steps. After me saying it felt so similar, they proved me wrong. Hose it down with chemicals. Yeah. Look at that. Look at us. We earned that employee of the month several times over. I'm actually suspicious that we're still going to bounce back and forth a few times over, and that now I'm going to end up with an excessively long episode, but I'd rather that than come up short, so I'm pretty okay with that. Yeah, look at that. Termite free, standing tall and proud. Wait. Did I not do what I intended to at all? I was talking distracted. I think I just went up the elevator and then back down it again without going through time? I honestly am not even sure anymore. I was autopiloting a little bit. Tends to happen when you're Let's Playing. Hey, is the cracks, those haven't changed at all? Hey, there's the hat. Fancy mining helmets. You got yourself a mining helmet that is now mine. What was the mine's is now yours. This helmet is heavy, but it has a light. Oh, that's an excellent pair of jokes. An extremely enthusiastic rat has chewed a hole in this solidly locked, solid steel cabinet. You root around and you manage to find one stick of dynamite within arm's reach. 22-year-old stick. You're lucky you found this instead of a 44-year-old stick. They get really dangerous when they're that old. And could we go back in time or just stick it right in right now? Stick the dynamite in. I have the match still. That's really funny from the numerous times that's come up. Light it up and just... You've seen some disappointing explosions in your life, but that one really failed to make even a dent in the cake. This rock must be made of tougher stuff than a relatively fresh stick of dynamite can handle. Shine your flashlight in. Can I somehow get another one of those? Yeah, found one within arm's reach. So I think what I probably need to do this should have occurred to me before, is I think I need to go back in time, and I'll actually do it properly. I need to go down and blow up the cabinet full of dynamite to get fresh, good dynamite, and then I could blow it up in the future, and oh, that made so much sense to me. But what if I stick the dynamite in back in time? Oh, damn it. Now I don't have a match. Who sells matches? Right, I gotta be in the present time. The hardware store? Did he sell matches? I feel like he might have. Holy Dinah, what a ridiculous series of things I needed to take on to make this work. Flock of murder fairies, dealing with the bear. I just run away. You turn and run, the fairies give chase, but apparently don't care enough to either chase you for very long or to waste bullets on you. I guess they were basically satisfied with the bear. Thanks, bear. It was a noble sacrifice. A wrong thing? Just thought I'd check anyways. The match. Buy and buy. This basically has to work. If this doesn't work, then I honestly don't know. Ooh. You notice a sizzleberry bush growing on a hedgerow off the side of the road. Weird, they don't normally grow this far from a volcano. You painstakingly collect the sizzle from each of the berries, by which I mean you take it, and it's painful. The phlogistic resin. Yeah, okay, that was the thing we had just found not that long ago, through other means. Or... Okay, I need present time, because there's one thing that I can try and do here first, and I need to grab up one more dynamite. Oh, okay, it's gonna make me do them in order, but I was gonna try and blow up that crack. We have to do that in the present time. Just keep cycling, just walking these same. There's going to be a trail carved between these two that exists beyond through both periods of time from me specifically walking it 10 million times. Light it up. There's no reason it would work in the past, but I thought it would be some weird gag. Nope, didn't work at all. That's a genuine bummer. So the only other thing I can think to do, and I'm guessing there's an infinite supply of dynamites that you can have the opportunity to have this level of trial and error. My limitation is potentially going to be those matches. I'm on my last match, and if blowing up that crack does nothing, then I'm a little bit stuck. Not an option. What the heck? What if I stuck it in the hole 22 years in the past and then came back in the present? It specifically talked about the 44-year-old dynamite. Like, I assume it would get crappier and be less effective because it specifically called attention to that. They get really dangerous when they're that old. Yeah, they don't become crappier. They get dangerous. This is it. This is the solution. 22 years, they become bunk. 44, they become super dynamite. So, stick the dynamite in. I'm feeling good about this. I think this is going to be a solved puzzle. Somehow, this stupid loop broke my brain a little bit. Molly, you could try to help out like once in a while, you know? Try to be a little less useless, just hanging out off to the side, never really getting your hands dirty. Extremely old stick of dynamite in a hole in this, practically squirting nitroglycerin. Might want to run a little further away. There it is, that's the one. You've blown the geode open, exposing a huge variety of crystals. You should let Crystal know. She'll be so excited. Meat return slot, nothing there. And Crystal, how's the mine? Break off anything expensive? Yes, in fact. You did? Well, that's just great. Hang on a minute. She leaves and comes back an hour later with 2 big armloads of crystals. You just give me a couple hours, and I'll give you a fully functional crystal shop now, okay? What should I do in the meantime? I get some old magazines here somewhere. Yeah, here they are. Read magazines for a couple hours. You spend a while reading. It's mostly op-ed pieces about political scandals from 20 years ago, but you manage to learn a thing or two, so you gain some experience. Crystal eventually taps you on the shoulder. All set now. Don't suppose you want to make a purchase? You know, this magazine is fascinating. Say, did you hear about the sketchy land grants up in Oregon? I remember my grandparents talking about it. Boy, that Mitchell, what a sneaky snake. Yeah, anyway, got you a little something to say thanks. When I was going through the crystals, I found a small one that I can't really sell for very much, and I just thought of you. Maybe I'll put this on my shelf of things in my room. A quest item you remember when the very idea of this crystal was no more than a twinkle in Crystal's eye. Thanks. What else you got in stock? An orb, offhand and accessories is what it comes down to. You know what? I'm gonna read through all of this after. I feel like I've drawn this episode out like crazy, probably. It's really, truly hard to know. So, we'll pick up from here next time. That's what I'm going for. That's the plan. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to pitch me some episode titles, and I hope to see you again soon.